Here's how you know if he loves you. When you ask him, what do you like about me? What do you love about me? This answer will tell you everything. It will save you years. It will save you therapy. It will save you heartache. It's very simple. When you ask him, what do you love about me? If he answers, you make me feel loved. You make me feel nurtured. You make me feel cared for. You're a good partner. You make me feel safe and seen. He needs to answer, I love you because you are kind, you are empathetic, you are funny, I like your sense of humor, you're spontaneous, you're creative. That's how you know. That's how you know.
I love how it's not enough for a man to actually care about a woman or to be honest with how he feels around her. When it comes to the subject of him loving his woman, unless that man is complimenting her, then his feelings aren't genuine. Women like this are so selfish that every single aspect of the relationship must revolve around them. And if it doesn't, then naturally that means the relationship has failed. This is why when modern women say they want an emotionally available man, they're not actually looking for a man who's honest with his feelings. They want a man who's willing to put everything aside for her. Every decision he makes, every emotion he feels must positively shine on her. And if he doesn't do that, she's allowed to assume that he doesn't love her, which is incredibly unfair and just shows how little these women actually care about other people. Yo, what is going on, guys? Got some videos from women over on TikTok for you here today, and as always, they are completely terrible. Now, they were suggested to me by Locke the Bounty Hunter, so let's just jump right into them.
We're seeing kind of a newer dating trend emerge lately, and that is when older women are choosing to pursue and date younger men. And I know this is one that's going to get a lot of comments and cougar jokes and things like that, but there's actually a lot of data backing up why this is a good thing for women. Now more than ever, women are choosing their partners based more on like compatibility and lifestyles instead of things like age or looks good on paper. Women are more financially independent than they've ever been at any other time, and this is letting them have a little bit more freedom of choice when it comes to marriage and partnership. One of the other reasons that we're seeing and hearing is that younger men date differently than the men who are over 35, 40 kind of a thing. So this is more specifically the young millennials, older Gen Zs, like the late 20s up to early 30s, who are dating women in their late 30s, even to early 40s.
The whole cougar movement has really shown women's true colors when it comes to hypocrisy and double standards. In their eyes, it's perfectly acceptable to chase down and manipulate young men for their own pleasure, right? They see it as empowering, fun, and totally acceptable because it makes her feel good. They say it's because of lifestyle compatibility, but that makes no sense at all. It's all just an excuse for attention and her desire to be wanted. And the worst part is, if an older man is interested in dating a younger woman, that man is demonized for being a predator. Absolute classic double standards. Even if a woman is like 21 years old, you will have an army of modern women saying that the man is manipulating young women, which is not only an outright falsehood, by the way, it's also incredibly insulting and has some real world implications on his life and his reputation. And they don't see how disgusting that accusation is because they use this garbage to hide the fact that they are aged out and jealous.
And the reason is that they're a little bit more emotionally mature than the older gentlemen, which is interesting to me. But really, it's just how they were raised a little bit differently. They grew up in a culture where mental health matters and people talk about it a little bit more. One of the other reasons we are hearing from women who especially would like to date somebody younger is that they feel like the younger men have a little bit more of an energy match for them. Like their lifestyles are more similar. They like to do some of the same things. They like to get out and travel more, experience, explore, things like that. Obviously, there are some times where this is not going to work out. The main thing being like if, it's a woman in her 40s who's done having kids and it's a younger guy who still wants to, but not every relationship has to last forever. Sometimes they can just be for fun. So if you are a woman who is in a relationship with a younger man, much younger, like let's say, I don't even say it's much younger, but let's say more than 5 years younger than you. I want to hear from you. Tell me in the comments how it's working out for you.
What's crazy about what this woman is saying is that men who are in their 40s or 50s somehow grew up in a time where mental health wasn't considered a priority. But these women forget that we know how to do math. The time period she's referring to is the 80s and 90s, where there was a very large and public movement to shine a light on mental health. If anything, millennials are well aware of the dangers of bad mental health. A lot of us lived through them, but apparently growing up in the mid to late 80s is the same thing as growing up in the 1930s. She tries to justify this whole mess by saying there's nothing wrong with having a little fun, but what she doesn't realize is that when women go after young men, it is simply for their own pleasure. They have made it clear time and time again. But if a man wants to find a young woman to possibly start a family, he's in the wrong for being a monster, and he needs to act and date his own age. They celebrate the very same things that they demonize men for, and nobody bats an eye because it's always different when women do it.
See, this is what I want you to know about men like this. They say they want a girlfriend who loves and respects them. And to us, that means the respect earned between two equals. But when your average man speaks like this, what he means is he wants the unearned respect of authority. He wants you to respect him by giving him authority, by giving him service, by giving him unearned subservience and submission. And in return, he'll respect you by not harming you, by taking care of you. And we've all seen exactly how well that works on a wider level. So if he tells you that you need to respect him, or that he expects respect in a relationship, please know that what he's talking about is not an earned mutuality. What he's talking about is authority, and you should absolutely run in the opposite direction.
If you take a second to read the reply that the woman is referring to, all he said was that men, generally speaking, just want a woman who's going to respect him, which within itself is incredibly reasonable and not really asking for all that much, but that one sentence was enough to make her fly off the handle and put words into the guy's mouth. Women like this will never seem to understand. The vast majority of men out there are not actually villains. We're not plotting schemes to somehow subjugate women to a life of eternal servitude. She just assumes that because of her selective view of human history. Women like this just assume that all men are enemies, and they really do hate us, by the way, which is tragic because living a hateful life isn't a great way to live.
If a man spoils you or does something really nice for you, you should appreciate it, but you should not reciprocate it. So many women are like, what's wrong with doing XYZ for my man? Okay, it's multiple things. One, for the wrong man, it's a horrible idea. The wrong man is going to think he's super special. He's going to start treating you like crap. It's going to lower his esteem. It's going to lower your esteem. It's a whole thing. Two, okay, well, why can't I do this for a good man who deserves it? It's two parts again. The man who truly deserves it does not even want it, okay? He doesn't even want it. He doesn't want you to reciprocate. He just wants you to appreciate it. If your question is, he did something really nice for me, how do I show I appreciate it? You literally show appreciation. Like, you say thank you. Stop thinking that you owe men because they love you. Like, stop thinking that. Women have done everything for men over the years, over the history of time. We have done everything for men, and they didn't even appreciate it. They didn't even show appreciation. Women are doing more by showing appreciation.
Women have done everything for men over the history of time, and men never showed them appreciation. The idiocy of that statement alone just proves how little she respects men. She completely disregards every single contribution that men have made that she clearly takes for granted on a day-to-day basis. Women like this love to bring up traditions from centuries ago as if they have any bearing on their lives today. You can even hear the venom in her voice when she talks about it. A real man isn't going to want appreciation has got to be the stupidest thing you could possibly say. The sad part is it really doesn't take much to show appreciation towards a man either. Men are really not that complicated. But even the mere idea of putting in effort to show thanks towards a man who works himself stupid for the woman he cares about is so foreign that she somehow feels justified in her desire to do nothing but expect everything in return.
If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. But when my husband was my fiance, he bought me a brand new car, and all I did was say thank you. That's it. I shared my happiness with him. And if that doesn't sound like enough, a couple years later, he bought me my dream car, and all I did was say thank you. You're looking at it from your love language, how you receive love, how you perceive love, and that's how you want to give love, and that's where a lot of men fall short too. People need to stop giving in their love languages in their romantic relationships and start giving in the love language of the person who is receiving the love. And the men who deserve the world in return, they don't want you to hand them the world. They want to provide for you. They don't want service from you. They want to serve you. These men want the things that money could never buy him. Money cannot buy him real love. It cannot buy him true company, genuine company. Money can't buy him appreciation. He wants things that money cannot give him.
She has no idea how insulting she sounds right now. She's bragging that her simp husband bought her an extremely expensive car, and all she did was say thanks, and she acts like that's somehow all that a man wants. It just goes to show how women like this view relationships as a one-sided transaction. You give me everything, and I'll give you virtually nothing. In her eyes, she thinks it's a small price to pay for her husband to bask in her presence. And you can't pass up the idea that she's also using this story as an opportunity to rub single women's noses in her story. Women like this love to brag about their relationships and try to pose it as this is how a real man treats a woman. And then she goes and tells a very personal story as smugly as she can. It's just another status symbol for her to show off to try and make herself feel like she's better than everyone else around her. But anyway, guys, we are going to be leaving today's episode there. Don't forget to subscribe on your way out. Click this video that's up on the screen now if you want to see more. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.